Time Traveler's Wife Through the Lens of A Course in Miracles, ACIM, becomes a powerful exploration of time, destiny, special relationships, trust, loss, and the discovery of a love that exists beyond changing forms. The film begins with a condition that Henry cannot control. He involuntarily moves through time. One moment he is present, the next he is gone. From an ACIM perspective, this can symbolize the ordinary human condition. The body appears to live in time, but the mind is rarely present. It travels constantly, into memories, into regrets, into future fantasies, into fears, into hopes. Most people are already time travelers. They simply call it thinking. Henry's condition externalizes what the Course says the ego does continuously. The ego lives in past and future. The Holy Spirit lives in the present. One of the central tensions of the film is Claire's desire to hold on to certainty. She loves Henry deeply, yet his appearances and disappearances make predictability impossible. This mirrors one of the ego's deepest desires. If I could just make love stable, then I could relax. Yet the world never offers that guarantee. Bodies change, relationships change, circumstances change, lives change. The ego seeks permanence in form. ACIM teaches that permanence is found only in what is beyond form. The love story becomes especially interesting because it raises questions about destiny. Claire meets Henry as a child because an older Henry appears from the future. In a sense, her entire life unfolds around a relationship that seems already written. The ego might interpret this as fate, but ACIM would somewhere deeper, not toward predestination of events, but toward the inevitability of awakening. The forms may vary, the script may vary, but the call to remember love remains constant. A major theme in the movie is attachment to specific outcomes. Both Henry and Claire repeatedly face situations they cannot change. They know certain events are coming. They know some losses cannot be avoided. And that is where the film intersects profoundly with forgiveness. Not forgiveness of wrongdoing. Forgiveness of reality's refusal to obey personal wishes. The ego says, if I love enough, I can control the future. The movie gently demonstrates that love and control are not the same thing. In fact, they often move in opposite directions. One of the most beautiful themes in the film is trust, not certainty. Trust. The Course never promises certainty about worldly outcomes. It promises peace through a different teacher. Claire repeatedly chooses to love despite uncertainty, not perfectly, not without frustration, not without grief. But again and again, she returns to willingness. That willingness resembles the trust that ACIM describes. The willingness to remain open, even when the future cannot be managed. Henry's time travel also symbolizes the ego's fascination with personal history. The movie repeatedly asks, what if you could revisit every important moment? The Course offers a surprising response. You already do. Every grievance is a trip into the past. Every regret is a trip into the past. Every nostalgia is a trip into the past. Every fear is a projection into the future. The mind continually revisits moments trying to find completion, yet healing occurs only in the present. Another profound theme is the distinction between the person and the essence. Henry's body appears in many ages and stages, young, older, wounded, healthy. But Claire recognizes something consistent beneath all appearances that points toward one of the deepest teachings of M. What you are is not the changing form. It is the unchanging presence beneath the form. The body changes, the story changes, the timeline changes, but something remains. The film's heartbreaking elements, especially surrounding separation and loss, invite an important caution. One could mistakenly use spiritual ideas to deny grief. The movie does not support that. Grief is portrayed honestly. Love hurts when identified with form. Attachment feels real. Loss feels real. It does not ask us to suppress these experiences. It asks us to bring them to a deeper understanding. The pain comes not from love itself. The pain comes from believing love can be lost. By the end, the film feels less like a story about time travel and more like a meditation on a timeless question. Can love survive the disappearance of the forms through which it was expressed? The ego says no. The ego insists that when the form is gone, the love is gone. Says the opposite. Forms come and go. Bodies appear and disappear. Timelines shift. Stories begin and end. But what is truly loving was never created by time and therefore cannot be destroyed by time. In that sense, The Time Traveler's Wife becomes a classroom for one of the Course's gentlest lessons. Love is not asking us to master time. Love is inviting us to discover what remains when time can no longer be trusted.